Mic check, 1 2 1 2. You can receive gifts. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, y'all. Hold on, let me turn the volume all the way up. Mic check, microphone check. 1 2 1 2, making sure we live and direct in this thing, man. I'm late, but I'm still great. Don't hate, just wait for me to skate down your way with something to say, man. What's good, man? We back with another one. You see the title, man. Let me move so y'all can really get a good look at it. What's happening, everybody? Hey, while it's just us TikTok, I appreciate the platform to the TikTok monitors and everybody that's looking. Hey, man, I appreciate the platform and the opportunity to use your platform, TikTok, to connect with like-minded individuals. With that said, TikTok, we gonna use this platform to edify, uplift, educate. It may even be entertaining a little bit. What's happening, y'all? Peace, light, and love to everybody that can see me, that can hear me. Good vibrations, high vibrations, man. What's happening? Peace to the diaspora, scattered out all over the four corners of the earth. What's happening, everybody? We got a brand new day. Y'all know how I like to start. Y'all know how I get cooking. Let me get warmed up. I say we got a brand new day. To you, this may not be nothing special. I don't know what you're going through or what you brought into this brand new day with you. But let me remind you that this day that we in is called the present. And it's called the present because it's a gift. And it is a free gift. And this thing called the present, we experience it in what's called now. Last time I checked, it's always now. And we also experience this thing called now in what's called moments. Last time I checked, moments can't be measured. The miracle of it is, though, I have experienced days before. I have experienced moments before. I've been given presents before, but I've never been given a present that was always new. And even though I've experienced days and moments before, yet and still, each moment and each day is always new. If that's not a miracle, I don't know what is. I emphasize miracle because it's one I'm a witness to, it can give testimony of. It's not a report. Hey, man, I'm in a miracle right now. I don't know what's going to happen the next moment, and that's the beauty of it. I sit here before you representing a nonprofit called People. And People stand for people empowering other people, lifts everyone. It's for the people. It's about the people. But I don't want to get too caught up on that just yet, man. We had a whole about 2-hour meeting last night making some decisions about how we going to move and moving as a nonprofit for the people. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm excited to speak with that hat on today in my grandfather's room, in my grandfather's house. You see the title. His story versus your story / my story, and in parentheses, it's a mystery. Because he stole your story, so since he stole your story, then you know your story got to be a mystery, don't it? So you don't know where you come from, do you? Hey, man, you can tell me about your kids know about Abraham Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin, but your kids don't know who their great-great-granddaddy was on their daddy's side. His story. So let's look at it. They say your story started in Africa. I'm finna say this boldly. I'm gonna say this boldly. Our story start with God, what you call the Elohim, the mighty ones, the kingdom. That's where our story start. This is the mystery that's being revealed. His story, this guy right here, the imitation, the image, the illusion, the fabrication, the story. You see the image that they gave you. You see the image that they gave you, the false one? His story started in Africa. His story, because it was in Africa where he first learned who he was. Him and his ancestors learned who they were in Africa. You are before his story. If you want to, let me pause. Take a step back. This is Bible deconstruction. Breaking spells and illusions, breaking the spell of Christianity that's been put in your mind and exposing to you, this is why you don't know who you are. This is why you don't know your history. Because of what you call Christianity. It was intentionally done by who you call Christians to erase your family lineage. And then they represented your story as his story, the guy on the screen. So we're going to take our time and deconstruct the Bible. I'm going to start by saying if all you know how to do is read the words, like you can read alphabets, ABCs, and you know how to interpret words, you don't understand the Bible and you can't. Because the Bible contains symbols. And the symbols is what was trying to be conveyed. The meaning of the symbols is what's being conveyed. But if you don't understand symbols, you're not going to recognize them. Symbols are important to understand because it's a universal language. Symbology, I liken it into the numbers 0 through 9. No matter what language you speak, everybody understands 0 through 9, these symbols, regardless of the language that you speak. So the understanding is universal regardless of your language. But when it comes to the Bible, just like 0 through 9, you got symbols in the Bible that many people don't know what they are, don't recognize them. So they reading the word father, but don't know what the word father symbolizes. They read the word mother, but they don't know what it represents symbolically. And so people's worship is in vain. Because you have no idea what it is you calling on, what the names mean. And we know that you don't know. It's because you say this, you got a Lord and Savior that's outside of you. You say you got a heavenly Father and a heavenly Son, but no heavenly Mother. You said a sacrifice was required. Because you didn't understand the symbols. It's the difference between sacrifice, which is done for atonement, and repentance, which is done for forgiveness. Are you seeking atonement? That's what the sacrifice is for. But when you going about looking for atonement, it let me know you missed a whole lot of what you call the scriptures. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to talk to the people here as if it was my first time and this is your first time listening. This is Bible deconstruction. Understand that the creation narrative in the Bible takes place from the kingdom. Everything that's being created is being created from the kingdom, which is already in existence and has been in existence. So whose beginning or what beginning are we talking about? We talking about the beginning of this great deception and why you and I are here today. Because of the deception began. Somebody started the deception. The truth is, was, and always will be. But the lie started somewhere. So we're going to help you understand the difference when you looking at script and help you understand everybody's not qualified to break down the script. Revelation comes from the kingdom. That's where you get knowledge, information, wisdom, and understanding of yourself. It comes from the king's dome, which is within you. I was just talking to my little brother in this along the lines of the term research. A lot of people use the term research, no understanding what it means. Research means to search again. The first search, though, is the internal one. You search internally for the information and the understanding that you're looking for. Because usually what you're looking for is already right in front of your face. Then you do the research on the outside of you to confirm or refute what conclusions you came to from your initial search from the inside. And then once it is confirmed on the outside through your research, then what came to you, you can consider it as true because that's your second witness from your research. But if the search was begun from the outside and you never began the search from the inside, you are not researching, you are searching, and you are searching backwards. Peace, peace, everybody. So, as I'm saying about the kingdom is located within you. Everything that was created from the kingdom. We need to get this part understood. This is very important so we can come out of spookland when we talking about the book. And our ancestors who were called the mighty ones. Once you receive the revelation, you communicate that revelation, you speak on it, you share it, and the people that hear the testimony, because you're giving testimony of the kingdom, when you receive it, this is the testimony that is heard as prophecy. And then later on, the prophecy that's received and reported is written down. That's where you get script. Script is at the bottom. So only those who receive the revelation, because that's where the script came from. The script is of the testimony, and the testimony is of the kingdom. Only those who get the revelation from the kingdom understand the script, because it came from them. It came from in them. It came from the kingdom that's in you. So that's why I say we're trying to help you understand how to know you when you see you. Because once you reach a certain level of awareness, baby, you're going to start seeing you. That's why you can be peaceful and patient and compassionate with your brothers and your sisters, because you see you. That's ground up construction. Yeah, we got to get the ground up construction so we can learn. And I'm going to repeat what I said when I started this live. His story started. Do you see the picture in front of me? In the fabrication that they put for you to believe in, called your God and your Lord and Savior? You see the picture? Look at it real close. Listen to what I'm telling you. His story started in Africa. Your story started in the kingdom. See, who you call the palm? Yeah, he learned who he was in Africa. We didn't learn who we were in Africa. He learned who he was in Africa. You know, he had to go to Egypt and study. Moses had to go to Egypt and study. They learned who they were in Africa. We come from a kingdom that existed before his story. But you think your story start with his, so we're going to make sure you understand that your story start with your soul, baby. So when you get the book, the first thing that's created is you, your soul, light. Talking about your story versus his story. Because if not, then, you know, they told you your story started as a slave. I'm just going here. I'm sitting there chopping it with little bro, man. Check this out, man. When you read in Numbers and Joshua and Exodus about the wars and the way that they fought the wars and the genocide, right? This is conducted by usurpers who plan on stealing the identity of those that they are warring with. So they got to wipe as many of them out as know who and what they are, so they can't have nobody that's going to come back and say, nah, that ain't y'all, man, that's ours. So you got the term El and Elohim and Mighty One from Canaan, because the usurpers went to Canaan's land and took everything, unalived everybody, and usurped their culture, because they don't have one of their own. They are usurpers. So the way that the wars are described, and it's telling them, hey, I want you to go over there and unalive everything that breathe. Everybody. So it's nobody alive to tell a story. They're trying to get rid of witnesses, because, you know, we always talking about witnesses. So what they do, man, we make sure we don't leave none. Everybody go. Just in case the dog know how to talk, get the dog too. We don't want no witnesses, because the people that we coming for, man, they don't accept anything, no testimony, without no witnesses. And we got a whole bunch of lies we finna serve them. But first we got to get rid of the people that know we lying. Just gonna take my time. So because of the usurpers who stole your story, stole your land, stole your culture, since they stole your land and your story and your culture, who you are is a mystery. Tell me when I start lying. So when we talk about coming out of this system and creating our own, we are returning to the ways that we had before he came with his story. Before we had to pay his bills and pay his rent and his water bill and his electricity. We going back to the way we lived before his story. Everything that was invented, these are usurpers. They ain't invented nothing. That's why I always show you in the beginning, God created, but the Lord God made, because he can't create. They are imitators, usurpers, mimickers, liars, deceivers. The image in front of you bears witness to what I'm saying. But many religious people and Christians, they lean on the word of scholars. They lean on, it was a guy and he know Hebrew and he know Coptic Hebrew and ancient Hebrew and modern Hebrew, and he studied at the such and such, and they translated the Hebrew and they understand the Hebrew language from such and such and such and such. What you forget in Revelation come from the kingdom. The script was written down from the testimony, and the testimony is from the kingdom. The problem is the people who copied the testimony, where you got the script from, hadn't received any revelations. People that know the language, they know Hebrew language front and back, ain't received no revelations. They can copy a language and they can copy letters. They can't give you the meaning, because the meaning come from the kingdom, because the understanding of the symbols has been lost. You forgot what you knew. And some people came with your old information, gave it to you backwards, man. But you knew this stuff. You taught them. His story started in Africa, baby, not yours. Your story started before it was a such thing as a Africa. Your story started, baby, you indigenous to this entire realm. Everywhere they got land, everywhere it's a continent, they're going to find your ancestors on it. Everywhere. It's not an accident. But your story has been hidden from you. And since your story has been hidden from you, we got to remind you. We got to bring you into remembrance. I was looking at something. I'm just finna throw something out here. I'm going to dig into it. We speak of them 12 sons of Israel, but a lot of people forget Dinah. Dinah was the daughter of Israel. 12 sons and one daughter made what? 13. Let me give you something else. Dinah, it means judgment. And she wasn't the only Dinah in the book, because, you know, when I think it was Shechem had his way with her. So, they went and unalived the city of Shechem, all the men. Not only was Dinah the daughter, which made not 12, you got 13 children, 12 sons, one daughter. She was the 7th child of Leah. 7 is the number of completion. Dinah means judgment. That's what her name means. So because of the patriarchy, we focus on the 12 boys, 12 male figures, because the son represents strength. What does daughter represent? Understanding. You got many forms on the expression of strength, but we all got one understanding. And we talking about the truth, because the truth don't change. This is what I mean by one understanding. No matter where you are listening to me right now, I don't care what your clock say. The time is now. There's one understanding. Now, it manifests. You got it 157, 257, 357, depending on the time zone. But sacred knowledge tell us it's now, regardless of what your clock say. And it's only 157 because we trace time according to the rising and setting of the sun. If we did it according to the phases of the moon, it would be different. Times change, the truth don't. One understanding. And we already said what the 12 symbolize. If y'all don't know what the 12 symbolize because you've been in spookland and you've been hollering about stuff you can't bear witness to, let me bring you back to objectivity. And let's do some basic counting. One ear, two ear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 spirits that sit before the throne. Then you got your head, 8, arm, 9, other arm, 10, leg, 11, the other leg, 12. 13 right here, the understanding, Dinah, is here. Because, you know, wisdom, the mother, daughter is understanding, because understanding is how wisdom manifests itself. Power, the Father, manifests itself through strength. And that's why you say the Son is the strength. And the Father is the power. These are the symbols. Like when you're saying 0 through 9, regardless of the language you speak, everybody understand what 0 through 9 is. It's the same thing with the concept of mother, father, sister, brother. These are symbols, but they represent something higher. Power and wisdom, understanding and strength, knowledge. Knowledge is power. Do that one more time, my brother. Okay, I'll do it one more time. So the 12 tribes, we always talk about the 12 tribes of Israel, but we forget Dinah, the daughter, which make 13. She is not only is she was the 11th child born to Jacob, but she was the 7th child born to Leah. Leah means, 7 is completion. Dinah means judgment. Judgment being complete. So you got your 12. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the 7 spirits that sit before the throne, because you know the throne is in the subconscious mind and shrouded in deep darkness. Then from those 7, you also count your head is 1. That's 9, 8. Arm 9, arm 10, leg 11, other leg 12. Dinah 13, understanding. Daughter is understanding. Her name means judgment. It's right here in the middle. That's where your judgment and your understanding manifests. Nothing spooky here. Just reminding you of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Elohim, the mighty ones, your ancestors had and passed on to you through your DNA. And it become just like the fruit trees and the flowers. When the conditions are right, they bloom. Well, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which is light soul that was passed on to you, man, when the conditions get right, it comes forth. And you have people asking, man, where you getting this? Who teaching you this? The Elohim, the mighty one, the spirit is coming from the kingdom. I'm giving you testimony. I ain't get this out of no book. But the enemy, the usurper, is a liar. That's why we guard your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, man, consider them like gates that guard the kingdom. We require witnesses and testimony because we guard the kingdom. And we don't want to let you just bring us no falsehood just because you believe it. So we have a method to test whether or not the information that you bring in is true. Part of that method is the inclusion of witnesses. When people go to talking about Jesus, John, Moses, the problem is you don't know the symbolic meaning of the name. If you understand the symbolic meaning of the name, you can testify to he who is drawn from water. You can testify to I am salvation, the anointed one. You can testify to the beloved. You can testify to the grace of God. The beloved is David. Grace of God is John. I am salvation, that's Jesus. He who is drawn from water, that's Moses. But if you don't know the meaning of the name, you're going to be running around here talking about people and giving your witness your testimony to something you didn't witness. And make your testimony false. Make your worship vain. So it say that those who worship must worship in spirit and in truth. Not spirit in belief. Not spirit in right. Not spirit in doctrine. Truth. If your doctrine ain't truth, throw it out. But no, we can't throw it out because we didn't invest too much pride into this doctrine. This doctrine is how we validate ourselves as being righteous individuals. So we can't throw out this doctrine because that means we got to humble ourselves and admit we didn't know what good and evil was. So we go all the way back to the beginning of the story. You don't know what good and evil is. You think you do. I know you don't know what good and evil is. I know for a fact. You only got to tell me. I don't even know you. And I know you don't know what good and evil is. I know it. Let me tell you how I know. Because you've been in situations that was good for you, that you prayed to get out of. And once that situation was not removed and you had to go through it, you was thankful for the experience and the lesson. Even though to your eyes, it looked evil and bad, something that you should avoid. Praying with your whole heart, crying, please take me out of this. And then after you came in, thank God I went. I'm so glad I went through. Vice versa. You had situations you thought with your whole heart and all your might was good and you tried everything you could to get into that situation. And when you got in that situation, the experience wasn't as good as what it looked like on the outside. Then you went to praying and crying and begging to get out of it. And you do it over and over again. So you don't know what good and evil is. You don't know what good and bad is for yourself, Jack. Then you want to talk about the mighty ones and the gods, and you're going to determine who's good and evil among them? Please, sit down somewhere. Matter of fact, who asked you? Let me get my book. I ain't pull a book out. I'm going to pull this book out on you. Pull this book out on you, man. His story versus your story. Let's look at these instructions. A lot of people have, hey, man, I'm going to say this, man. I don't mean no disrespect, but reading comprehension does not increase with belief. I'm going to repeat that. Reading comprehension does not increase with belief. I know this because I've heard grown men say, ain't no mother, even though they came out of one. I know because I've heard grown men say, yeah, God made the woman from the rib of a man. And they be with a straight face. They really mean it. Though they can't give no testimony to it, ain't never witnessed it ever. That's why it's a difference between belief and doctrine and testimony of the kingdom. Big difference. And you believe the doctrine because of the scholars and the translators, the line pen of the scribes. That's why you believe the doctrine. But the testimony refutes the doctrine. Because the testimony say, everybody listen to me came from a mama. And they say, man, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So if it was the will of the Most High for you to have a mother on earth, then you must don't know what mother symbolizes in heaven. That's why you say you don't got one. Because you don't know how to read. Signs. So why is it important to know how to read signs? Because that's what, if you read the Bible and you say that's your book, well, the Most High gave you signs. Most High didn't give you no letters or alphabets. You got signs from the Most High. And the beauty of signs that express and show you the wisdom is that you don't need alphabets or letters to read them. That's why it's above the script. But because we in upside down backwards world and you don't know who you are, I have to reach you through the lowest form of communication. This is proof of how lost and how far we've fallen, that I can only reach you through the script. So let's look at the script, and we're going to investigate if and anywhere in the instructions that we were given, because, you know, it's a basic instruction before leaving Earth. So I always like to tell people about the instructions versus the commandments, because commandments came because you didn't follow instructions. The commandments are for those who don't follow instructions. That's why you have to be commanded and threatened with curses if you don't follow. And you don't follow instructions. You hard-headed. So let's revisit the instructions. Where did you get this pic from? Is this the last one of them? This pic come from King James Bible that was distributed from 1611. But the dude that made that picture, I had researched him. I forgot his name. Me and Kitty Magic looked that dude up. But he put this picture came out fairly recently. I want to say maybe the 30s. If somewhere in that time, maybe before that. Don't quote me on that. But they put these images in most of your King James Bibles, especially the big ones. If your granny, your great-granny, granddad, and them still have one of them big Bibles, because that's where I got this image from. That's all tore up now. This come out King James Bible. They put lies in your Bible in the form of images. Your preacher lied to you when he give you mother and son, but don't tell you the meaning of, when he give you father and son, but don't tell you the meaning of it. I spoke with a man that believed in the doctrine of Christianity. He said that the son was real, the father was real, but the mother was just symbolic. Because they don't know what mother means. If you know mother is symbolic of wisdom, then you can't never leave wisdom out of nothing, can you? What are you going to create? What are you going to make? What are you going to do? And you left wisdom out. How's it going to go? So if we look around us and we look at the religions and see them crumbling, it's because you left mama out. You left wisdom out. And it's become obvious. Sin, once it reaches full measure, can no longer be hidden. So your error, the error of leaving mama out, has reached its fullness. And the religious system and everything that's built on it is crumbling before your eyes. And the people who this information originally came from has been awakened because the conditions done awoke something. Man, we here telling y'all, man, they gave y'all a backwards, upside down understanding of the stuff. This book the reason they gave you a backwards, upside down understanding of the book is because they were lying. And they was trying to tell you that the information in the book came from them. Here in this time of revelation is being revealed, they don't even understand. None of their scholars, none of their translators understood it. That's why they gave you this image that's on my screen as proof that they didn't understand it. They put their stamp on it. Look at how much we don't understand this stuff. So in Africa, that's why I told the people, man, I started off this live. This guy right here, your story don't start in Africa. His story started in Africa because it was in Africa where he learned who he was and what he was. His story started 6,000 years ago when he began to understand who he was. And we're talking about the beginning of his creation and what he got going on with this world. Genesis chapter 2, verse 4. God created in the beginning, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, the Elohim, the mighty ones. Genesis chapter 2, verse 4, this is the generation when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. It's upside down and backwards. Here you go, right here. Don't you call him Lord God? His story, what we telling you about, here's the beginning of the great deception, because I'm going to say it again. The deception has a starting point. The truth is, was, and always will be. But the deception started somewhere. We're trying to show you where it started from. And one of the Elohim, one of ours, began teaching them our information, our knowledge. They came to us to learn what was what those stars mean, how y'all get these plants to grow, how y'all build, us exploring everywhere all over this realm, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because we value knowledge, wisdom, and understanding like the usurpers value gold. Because to us, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is the goal. Once I know how to catch the fish and keep it going, I ain't going hungry. Once I know how to plant the trees and grow the trees and the fruits, they come from knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding make you form a family unit and stop just getting pregnant and impregnating. It makes you realize who you are and what you are. And when you pass on your seed, you passing on your immortality, your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You coming back through this bloodline. So you know, I'm not just going to put my seed in the world. Seeing yourself like that, seeing your family tree like that is what we call a kingdom. Because you see your family as divine and sacred. We not saying, when you understand the book from this perspective, the clue is in the beginning. In the beginning of what? We're talking about an eternal kingdom that don't have a beginning or don't have no end. So it can't be Alpha and Omega when we talk about the kingdom that don't have no beginning or end. What has a beginning and an end? The lie. The lie has a beginning. The lie has an end. We're showing you the beginning of a great deception. So the first chapter of the book, I'm going to repeat this to the people who ain't never listened. That's the unleavened portion of the bread. Why? Because that's the portion of the book you can testify to. You develop head first in a sack of water. You eat fruit and vegetables. You've seen them grow. You've seen sunrise, sunset, different constellations. You've seen animals and them reproducing, and you yourself are born in the likeness and image of your mama and daddy. You can testify that everything that's spoken of in Genesis chapter 1 or the creation narrative is still in play unchanged. When you get to Genesis chapter 2 verse 4 and you hear about the earth being made and then the heavens, you ain't witnessed that, and then a man being formed from a dust of the ground, you didn't come into being like that, and a body with no breath in it is a corpse. Is a dead body. So the Lord God started from a corpse. But the Elohim, let us, we testified that I got here by way of us, my mama and daddy. It was a us and we thing that brought me here. Just like what's being described in Genesis chapter 126. Because it's talking about your story, baby. Your story starts from the kingdom, like I said from the beginning. That's the unleavened portion of the book. Talking about your story, baby. Your story starts from the kingdom, like I said from the beginning. That's the unleavened portion of the book. My live just cut off, y'all. Mic check. My live just cut off. It's been doing that. Certain topics I speak on, my live will just cut off. I don't cut it off. I know what's going on. But this is what the deal is. It just cuts off. But back to where I was, man, before the live just cut off. Yeah, the lie has a beginning, the lie has an end, and we showing you the beginning of the lie. Because when you read the book, in the beginning, God, you said God was somewhere in the sky somewhere. This is the beginning of the lie. When they told you that the Elohim, the mighty ones, was anybody other than your ancestors that are at rest and whose knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, light, is in you today. But they spooktified the term, took it away from you, put it out there somewhere. So you said in the beginning, God, you went to looking at the sky. Like God created the heavens and the earth from the sky. But if the kingdom is in you, then where did the creation happen from? So what that's telling you is you got to be a real critical thinker. Man, we talking about it was stuff already here, but we came in the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what it was, who we are, and began to create. So it say power, because the Elohim mean the power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. It never said that the phenomena wasn't there. You just couldn't define it and make it act in a desired manner. You didn't realize it yet. You had no consciousness or awareness of its existence. But once you did, once you became aware of it, you was able to define it, name it, and trace its course, make it act in a desired manner. Because now I can predict what constellation's going to be where and when. But before, I couldn't do it. I was in the dark. So when the light cut on, let there be light, baby. It come on from inside. Because light is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It's coming from your ancestors who was at rest till the conditions was right. It come from your subconscious mind into your conscious mind. So the daytime sky look like it's symbolic of your conscious mind, and the nighttime sky is symbolic of your subconscious mind. Because when you look in, you looking up. Yeah, so let's keep going, making sure you understand his story. Because his story is a lie, your story must be a mystery. You can't be told where you come from. Ever. You can't be told your real name. You think they gonna tell you that they used to call you God? They used to call you the mighty ones? That they used to call you the Elohim? You think they gonna tell you that's where you come from? But you forgot, we forgot. You ever heard the saying, man, I done forgot more than you know. You have literally forgotten more than your oppressor knows. Literally. So you must be brought back into remembrance of the great deception. The creation narrative is you begun as a soul. Let there be light. That's where your beginning was, in alignment. See, a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying because a lot of us got here by not being in alignment, meaning your mother and father did not plan you because they didn't know who they were. So they just got pregnant and you got here with no knowledge of who and what you were because your mom and daddy didn't know who and what they were because they were worshiping that guy. Fulfilling the prophecy, not knowing that they was fulfilling it, but they was fulfilling. You're going to be worshiping strange gods that your forefathers knew not. Your ancestors don't know nothing about this guy right here. Nothing at all. You forgot it. You forgot who you were. That's why you have to be African American and black and Negro and indigenous and African. Because you don't know you Elohim. Mighty ones. The original. Do y'all know why the mad guy seen the woman and the child, but no father? When we speak of the Immaculate Conception, another great deception, they told you that the Immaculate Conception was the birth story of this fabrication that's right here on the screen. Again, they are liars. Lying is their language. It's when we talk about the serpent with the forked tongue, because he always used double speak. Every word he say have a different and most of the time opposite meaning. 3-4 different words, same word, 3-4 different meaning. Why are he doing it like that? Because he's a spellcaster and a liar and a deceiver. So he always want to leave himself some room to lie. You said it right, yeah, but when I said right, I was talking about W-R-I-T-E. You was talking about R-I-G-H-T, and that's not my fault. That, when we speaking, we can't see the letters. That's why I be telling people capital letters or lowercase letters. You can't see that when I'm talking. So when I say Lord, you don't know what I'm talking about. You know how many definitions Lord have? So I can be meaning one thing and thinking one thing and you receiving something else. That's why the symbols like 0 through 9, regardless of the language you speak, they mean the same thing. It's the same with the symbols. So it can break down on the confusion. But let me help you understand why the Magi, the wise men, seen the mother and the child, no father. Symbolically, what we're speaking of is the manifestation of the unseen. When we talk about the manifestation of the unseen, back to the numbers we go. Your ancestors, the 0. 0, a lot of people, because, whoever was their teacher, 0 don't represent nothing. 0 represent what Can't the ineffable, inexpressible, there is no name, word, image that you can draw to express it. What does zero represent? It don't represent nothing. It represents so much that ain't no word or title or nothing to express it. The ineffable, inexpressible, invisible. Zero is the manifestation of that, so it's round. Because, you know, when we talking about the manifestation of the unseen or the manifestation of the eternal, it got to be. Because, you know, the round, the circle, ain't no beginning or end. Eternal one, no beginning or end. Circle represent no beginning, no end. Why is she round? Because she pregnant. Who's she pregnant with? The ineffable, inexpressible one. He put himself inside her. Didn't your daddy put himself inside of your mama? So the manifestation of the unseen one manifests symbolically as pregnant woman. The Father that you can't see, the power, Father represent power, that you cannot see, manifests itself physically through the circle, the cycle of nature, mama, through which you see the wisdom of the unseen through this self-replenishing system. This comes from the kingdom of your ancestors. The symbols, the signs, the terminology. These people, these liars, these usurpers, these people, these liars, these usurpers studied your history and your ancestors and know it better than you. Your history and your ancestors is so live that they stole identity and said it was them. And it's being exposed. You're not elite. You never was elite, because you have to have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from the kingdom, not from books, not from scholars, to be considered elite. That's why everything you build based on your scholars, including your religions, is crumbling. Because it's a difference between knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that come from the kingdom and knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that come from the world, which you call the serpent. That's why the serpent is symbolic of wisdom, a type of wisdom, the wisdom of the world. Mother is symbolic of sacred wisdom. But you left her out, remember? So you got no sacred wisdom in your religion. You just have confusion, Babylon. What is the absence of a wife and a mother? What is the absence of the qualities of wife and mother? How does the absence of the qualities of wife and mother manifest? As whoredom. Babylon means confusion, the whore of Babylon. Yeah, you've been real confused. That's why you're trying to convince people that this is God. There's somebody on this app right now with their whole heart and all they might trying to convince people that Jesus, I am salvation, the anointed one, is this character. They saying that the character is God. The problem with this is you're not a witness. He could pull up on you right now. You wouldn't know who he is. You believe. It's a difference between believing in and knowing. Just because you believe in something don't mean you know it. Did you know that you could believe with your whole heart and all your might and still know nothing? But this is what we dealing with. It's no coincidence that people is waking up and melanated, uneducated people is breaking down what scholars for 2,000 years haven't been able to penetrate. We're not high. We're not drunk. This is what it is. This is how you know where this stuff came from. You think this stuff came from them and they gave you that image? You went to their Christian college and studied under their scholars and think you got to understand it? Cause they translated the Hebrew alphabet? You think translating the Hebrew alphabet gave you understanding of the revelation? Say, man, the revelation come from the kingdom ain't dependent upon the alphabet, Hebrew or otherwise. You're giving signs. So a lot of people just, I mean, hey, man, I understand it, though. Hey, man, I really do get it, because in the process of doing this nonprofit, and the reason we doing this nonprofit is to acquire land. Shout out to Sharina. Teach people about sustainability on the land. You understand me? Homesteading, being independent, educating people. Like, you know, giving the kids a class assignment at our school. Hey, man, you gonna go learn who your great-great-great-granddaddy was on your daddy's side. That's going to be part of the curriculum. Is learning who you are, learning your family, as far back as we can get. Before I teach you about what Paul said and what Peter and Abraham Lincoln and George Washington for, I tell you about any one of the usurpers and the characters that they gave you to believe in and venerate. And you think it's normal for you to know them, but not your own ancestors? Yeah, we done with that silliness. It's just silly. But he say, Jeshurun has waxed fat. We got comfortable. As long as I can pay my bills and feed my belly, I'm not worried about nothing else. My bill paid, my belly full. I'm not worried about nothing else. The money they keep playing games with the money, I just get another job. Because, man, hey, man, I'm going to get the money. I've been trained, and it been instilled in me that I ain't nothing unless I go get me some money, Jack. So I always show you about the mark of the beast. In 1 year, Solomon received 666 talents of gold. That's 1 Kings 10:14. This is dealing with the currency, because, you know, our currency was a representation of its value in gold. Then you get to the other place where you see 666 in the Bible outside of Revelation, and it's going to take you to Ezra chapter 2, verse 13, about the returning exiles from Babylon. It's what we're doing now. We're returning the exiles from Babylon. You just think it's a geographical location because you don't have sacred knowledge, but Babylon means a state of confusion, and we're bringing you out of it. Back to the kingdom. Coming out of the confusion, giving them their confusion and their lies back. Nah. You're not finna sit here and lie to me about who I am. Greetings. Yeah. Appreciate the people with the sharing the lives and everything like that. So again, I'm gonna reiterate as I'm just going, and I ain't really have no set topic. I was just chopping with lil' bro, and I was excited about this nonprofit that we starting and we putting it together, and the moves that we finna make. And lil' bro like, yeah, man, why people act like it's so hard to come out the system and do for ourselves? Why they act like it's so hard? And I'm like, lil' bro, we've been trained. The king and the knowledge, the sacred knowledge was bred out of us. Nigga, we was trained to hump. Hump, if you ain't humping, nigga, don't let me catch you sitting down thinking about nothing. Hump, nigga. You sitting down thinking for? So that's the same thing as the story that's being played out right here in front of you. For people say it's too complicated for us to get us some land and build on the land and live off grid. We need these people system. It's similar to the story of the children when they had to wander through the desert because the people looked like giants to them. So the people that thought like that had to, you know, perish. And the new generation that didn't even know what it was like to fear them was the ones that had to come. Some of us have been so deeply ingrained into this system and the doctrine of it, we think it's right. Regardless of it, we know it's not true, we still think it's right. Because it feel good, you fit in, everybody doing it, you going along with everybody, I'm fitting in, I'm great. So he said you have to have courage and be strong for this. Because you have to go against, you have to have the courage to stand against. Subdue the earth, remember? The instructions, fill the earth and subdue it. It didn't say fill the earth and go along with it. Why did it tell you in the very beginning to subdue the earth? What did you have to do? It was stuff already going on. See, everything that was created in the light. It don't say did nothing go on in the dark. We showing you everything that went on in the dark, starting with Genesis chapter 2, verse 4. What went on in ignorance. We showing you that. In your face. So that's why you run around here telling people with a straight face that a woman came from a rib of a man. You don't understand symbols. That's why you tell people they have a heavenly father and a heavenly son, and you say it's this guy. And then say they have no heavenly mother. So when I see palm-colored preaching this guy, they doing exactly what they supposed to do. They telling you that their ancestor is their God. But if you say your ancestors is your God, oh, you're blaspheming, yeah. But a YT person, palm-colored person saying that guy's they God, he doing exactly what he supposed to be doing. Worshiping his ancestors, being in the likeness and image of his ancestors. That's why they lie so much. Because that picture is a lie. So when you talk to them, this is what you end up getting. They want to be right. You can tell them the truth, and they gonna tell you it's not right. So back to that's why I grabbed this book. I'm sorry, guy, I get sidetracked. Back to the instructions that all these Bible scholars made you skip over, because they told you through their scholarly interpretation that you didn't really have to pay attention to the creation narrative. But in reality, it's the unleavened portion of the bread. Might be why everybody skip over it. But the reason why they tell you to skip over this, and they say it's in the Old Testament, because the creation narrative contains the instructions. They don't want you to ever receive and follow the instructions. They would rather you follow the commands. I'm here to tell you that your mom and daddy instruct you. Parents instruct the children. Slave owners command the slaves. So when the Lord God created, he commanded them. But when God, us, created in the likeness and image of who was doing the creation, they were given instruction. So let's look at these instructions. We're going to investigate from looking at these instructions, which of them had anything to do with you judging good and evil. Like as if it was ever expected of you. And who place you put yourself in when you running around here calling stuff right and wrong, even though you don't even know what it is in your own life. So let's look at the instruction and remind you why you had to get commandments, because you didn't follow this. You refused to do this. First of all, we're going to start the instructions in Genesis 1:28. Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. This is Bible deconstruction. Breaking the spell of Christianity and the illusion of these idols that they gave you to venerate. They call today Moon Day. Tomorrow is Tuesday for Mars. Then after that is Odin's Day. After that is Thor's Day. This is the one that they worship on Sunday, every day of the week. You got you a seven-headed beast that you love with your whole heart and all your might. Why a seven-headed beast? Because there's lies. It's not Odin's Day. It's not Thor's Day. It's not this guy's day. It's your day. It's the present. So lies, when they manifest, because everything we speak, manifests, we manifest our thoughts. When truth manifests, and it brings rest, it brings harmony, light, understanding. Man, when a lie manifests, it come across like a beast. Like a monster, with the confusion and the destruction it caused with it. But, a lot of people that call themselves Christians don't know what a day is. Sadly, they pastors ain't taught them nothing. They gave them a doctrine that they use the Bible to teach. The doctrine of Christianity. Your preacher used the Bible to teach you the doctrine of Christianity. They never taught you the book. Because they couldn't. It wasn't in them. It hadn't been revealed to them. So that's why they had to give you the doctrine of Christianity, because they couldn't give you no testimony of the kingdom. Because in order to give testimony of the kingdom, you get that by revelation. And when you speak it, you are giving the testimony of the kingdom that you got from the kingdom. Your pastor can't do that. He has to rely on the doctrine of Christianity. It's a difference. Let's look at it, man. Yes, the bloodline. This is what let me do this. Remind me, go back to the bloodline, because I'm glad you brought that up. So we can understand, let's despookify mighty ones. Let's despookify the Elohim in the kingdom. The clue is everything was created from a kingdom. Well, what we know about kingdom, man, kingdom is real invested in bloodline, lineage. Everything was created from the kingdom. Get that? All right, we're going to return you back to it. Before we get there, I'm going to help the people understand why nobody asked you about good or evil or right or wrong, and that it was never expected of you because you don't know the difference. Why would we expect you to determine? Okay, let's read. Chapter 1, Genesis 1:28. God, the Elohim, the mighty ones, your ancestors, bless them. Oh, they making me do the puzzle. I done pulled up the book. Mic check. So it say, God, the Elohim, the mighty ones, bless them. The word bless them is enabling. They are given the ability. They are enabled. They are allowed. All right? Rock with me now. What are they being enabled to do? To be fruitful, increase in number, fill the earth, and subdue it. Rule over the air and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Then you get the diet. I give you every seed-bearing plant. I'm a vegetarian to this day. Been a vegetarian for 13 years. Been through all hell and back. I'm telling you, it's the best diet in the history of diets. Let's read it, though, so the people can understand. I give you every seed-bearing tree. They will be yours for food. King James say they will be yours for meat. Teaching. Not the milk. The meat. You bear fruit. You have to reach maturity to bear fruit. When you start bearing fruit, you go from the milk to the meat. Yeah, sisters, they giving it to you, man, but they we understood symbols and codes and stuff. The translators didn't. They just understood alphabets and languages. Let's keep going. What we trying to find is where God told you your good and evil for you to determine that, and let's find it out. Then God said, they will be yours for food, and all the beasts of the air, everything was so, and it was good. This is the 6th day. Then on the 7th day, it say God finished with all his work, set the 7th day apart, and made it holy. Nowhere in there is it telling you for you to go judge good and evil for anybody. We're going to help you understand why through a lot of us, because we have been taught backwards. Sometimes we have to read you these scriptures through reduction to tell you what it doesn't say so that you can focus on what it does say. The word rule in King James is dominion. It means supreme, absolute authority. It's given to the children. Why we say they the children? Because they are made in the likeness and image of their creator. So anything that's made in the likeness and image of his creator, that's my child. My son look like me and his mama. So dominion, absolute supreme authority is given to the children of the Elohim, or the mighty ones, who gave it from a kingdom. I'm telling you about your story, your royal lineage. Because your story was ancient before his story started getting fabricated and passed around. Your story come from the kingdom, the Elohim, the mighty one. That's your ancestors. They, palm-colored people, come from you, baby. I said, you come from the Elohim, the mighty ones, the kingdom. Palm-colored people, like this image, come from you. Let's just take our time, though, because you spooktified the term, because the liars and the deceivers that translated the alphabets and the letters, they didn't know the meaning, so they spooktified it for you and told you God meant something else out there. So today, let's objectify this. In 2024, did you know that families that tend to their lineage and their bloodline exist among us as royalty today? The families that maintain their lineage and bloodline meticulously are the richest, most powerful families in this realm. Who you think they got it from? Why you think they spend so much time erasing your lineage, nigga? Listen, just rock with me. The first of your ancestors that knew who they were, they intentionally created. That means nobody got pregnant and impregnated. Nobody just came up pregnant. Oh, I got her pregnant. That didn't happen in the kingdom. It happened in the world, not in the kingdom. Because you raised knowing who you are and what you are. And you pass it on. You pass it on intentionally. You pass it on subconsciously through your DNA. Because you got ancestors that's going back time immemorial, before you know of what you call time. Literally. What you call time today is a construct given to you by your oppressors. And they got the concept from misunderstanding our symbols. You want to know the evidence? You got 7 days. That's all you got. 7 is complete. It's 365 days. Yeah, man, you ain't got but 7. That's it. Where you think you got them from? We just gonna take our time, though. Unfolding them. Who is that in the picture? Do you hear me? His story versus your story, which is my story, yeah. Because his story is a whole lie. Ooh, he lying with his whole heart. Let me go back, though, man. I go to tripping. I got out where I was on. Think about it objectively. If you got people that's running around you and they don't know who they are or what they are, they just pregnating and getting pregnant, ruled over by the sun, moon, and stars. And you gonna consider them like animals. They have a certain type of intelligence and a wisdom, but not a type of self-awareness. Knowledge of self, they lack. So they get pregnant and they pregnate and they rule over by the sun, moon, and stars in their appetite. Then you got those people who know who they are and see where they came from, mama and daddy, as sacred and divine. And they meticulously maintain their lineage, so when they got ready to sow their seed, it wasn't just being sown anywhere. It was being sown into somebody that was like-minded. And they knew who they were and they lineage. Because if you in alignment, a woman gonna find a father, a woman is gonna find a husband that remind her of who? Her father. And a man is gonna find him a woman that remind him of who? His queen, his God. So that it's maintained. We know who we are. We know what we doing. We know what we passing on, as opposed to those animals out there, ruled by their appetite and their instincts, just getting pregnant and impregnating. Trying to show you a setup. Yeah. I'm glad y'all catching it. If you start doing this with your family lineage right now today, 3-4 generations later, your family gonna be on top. You see it happening now, don't you? These people that maintain their family lineage on purpose for centuries, who ruling right now? Where you think they got it from, man? You talking about people you taught how to bathe. Come on, man. And then hid your history from you. I'm talking about brutally. Came back to you with your history and put it in your face like it was his story after you had forgot who you was. That's what's happening. No, it's hard for you to accept because I ain't got no PhD. I dropped out of school in the 10th grade, got my GED as a fulfillment of prophecy. None of your scholars got this. I didn't get it from a scholar. I didn't get it from a book. I told you I was just sitting outside chopping up with my little brother. So, man, that's what I'm finna go chop it up on. But the revelations began 13 years ago. I started getting revelation downloads 13 years ago. And I began searching. After the search, and it's ongoing, I still get revelations, still get downloads, but they haven't changed. Everything I'm talking, I found new ways to express it and explain it, but the gist of it ain't changed at all. Still the same. I started understanding that this is intentional. This is how it goes. This is how it's passed on. And when the condition was right, I came forth. When the conditions is right, the plant, whatever seed you put in the ground, baby, when the conditions is right, it come forth. And not until then. So about 13 years ago, I started searching, and the searching was on the inside. The revelation came because of a prayer. I did a prayer. I'll never forget the prayer I did. I'm going to tell y'all the gist of it. I'm come from hustling and trapping, 10 years in the penitentiary. I did 10 calendar years in prison. I did my last 3.5 years in SEG for being staff and inmate assaultive. I was robbing people on the outside. I went in and I was robbing people in there too. It was just something, you get addicted to different stuff. All right, in my course of 3.5 years in what SEG is when I learned to meditate and go inside. When people talk of research, if you've never gone inside, you never did the initial search. If your search, if what you call research started from books and going online, that's not research, that's your initial search. Research is the search again. Well, where did you search from before you searched in the books and the internet? In the kingdom. That's where you search first. That's where you get the answers from. And then when you research, the answers that you find confirm what you found when you did the initial search. Now you got your witness. 2 is a number of witness. That's what make it true. Because I came from the kingdom. It didn't come from outside of me. Then I seen it confirm on the outside of me. I know it's real. What's coming to me is real. It's to confirm what's coming from the kingdom for you because you don't know the order of things. You've been taught about these people ways. The guy on the screen, you've been taught to move like them and think like them. That's why you stuck paying bills. Your ancestors didn't pay bills. Your ancestors owned the land that they lived on and passed it on to their descendants. They got you paying bills. You under a system, I just told you, built off lies. And you keep going along with the lie because you comfortable physically under it. And you afraid of them. Well, you got one that don't mind being uncomfortable. And man, I done been to the grave 10 years in penitentiary. I'm not scared of nothing they got. Nothing. Not scared of being hungry, not having no money, not being like understood. Nothing. So all they can do now is cut my live out when I start cooking too much. All they can do is cut the live out. I'm finna look at anybody welcome to get up here. Come on in, and you want to get up here and tell me how I need to give my life and my soul to this guy, get on in here and we'll go back and forth with you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If not, Remember what I told y'all about the 12 sons of Jacob? Jacob had a daughter. Son means strength, daughter means understanding. 12 sons, one daughter, one understanding. Right here, Dinah means judgment. So when right here, Dinah means judgment. So when they cut my live off again, y'all, it just cut off. It's the second time doing this live. It's been plenty of other times. It just cut off. I was telling y'all about Jacob's daughter, Israel's daughter. Y'all focus on 12 sons, 12 sons, 12 tribes. Blah, 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 blah. They ain't talking about nobody but you. They talking about you. But you can't count. And you like to do stuff off doctrine. You don't like to do stuff off testimony. So what I'm finna show you, my 12 is a testimony. Your 12 is a doctrine. I'm gonna count my 12 in your face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, head 8, arm 9, arm 10, leg 11, 11, 12, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, judgment right here, 13. Because if he had 12 sons and one daughter, that's 13. He who struggles with the mighty one. So this is the state of being of he who struggles with the mighty one. Male and female was made, so when we talking in the spiritual sense, in the sacred sense, we don't include gender, we talking function. You function as male or female. That's your function. So when we talking about the light body, the spiritual body, we don't include genitalia. This is your genitalia. This is what you penetrate with, or this is your womb, depending on how you are. Do you function as male and penetrate, or you function as female and receive? Your makeup, your character, because that's either your penis or your vagina right there, spiritually. But if you don't get this type of stuff, then you're going to be limited to dicks and pussies. That's not my fault, though. Don't got nothing to do with that. So, because we be in spook land, a lot of stuff we be doing, man, what we doing, it don't look like it to, you have to believe in you and what's in you. More than you believe in your oppressor and the lies that he put in the illusions that he put in front of your face. Land has more value than money. It don't look like it to you, to your eyes. But the experience is, hey man, if you own the land that you own, who you paying for rent? If you got your water source, who you paying the water bill to? You dug your well. You got solar panels, solar powered generators. Who you paying for a light bill? You would rather take thousands and thousands of dollars and go buy you a car or a boat, some clothes, a necklace, than some land? It's because you're blind. You don't know what really have value. You under a spell. Spells consist of visual illusions, auditory, spell casting. You hypnotize, man. Your ancestors knew land had value. That's why they had to commit genocide and unalive them like they did, because your ancestors didn't just give it up. They had to unalive everybody. Everybody that was able to fight fought. I said, everybody who was able to fight fought. Only ones that was left is the infants, little bitty babies, old people that was trying to hide out. So, hey, man, guess what they raised them babies as? Slaves. Guess what they told them babies they was? Slaves. You dealing with liars. When you gonna accept that you can't take nothing from these liars that these liars told you? Nothing. Give everything back that these liars told you. Give it back. But we don't want to. We scared because we think it's right. So when I showed you the instructions in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, the blessing and the enabling, when you are told to subdue the earth, it implies a struggle. When it tells you to rule over the earth, it implies that you must exercise that rule. Why is it telling you to subdue the earth and rule over nothing? That's what? Ain't nobody here, right? Who I gotta subdue? Everything that was set in motion was set in motion by the Most High, right? In His light. Who or what do I have to subdue? That must mean it was something here, something going on in the dark. Then now that I got the light, I can bring some order to. So we deal with true or false. You can't follow lies because you might end up getting caught up in the lie and calling it real, calling it right. But you wasn't asked to be right or wrong. You were told to be true to your ancestors. Your ancestors subdued the earth and rule over it. So they told you, I'm in the likeness and image. Be true. How you gonna get to right or wrong before you establish true or false? I said, how are you going to get to right or wrong before you establish true or false? So the problem is, you got the doctrine of Christianity and called it right before you looked to see if it was true. Because when we dealing with the kingdom, we not going to come asking you, hey, man, is it right? Because we know right is relative. What's right for me might not be right for you. We going to ask you, is it true? And we know, because we know if it ain't true, it can't be right. So that's how we operate in the kingdom. And we guard against falsehood by requiring you bring you some eyewitness testimony or some eyewitnesses that seen what you talking about. If you got a written report, the written reports cannot be contradictory. This is the criteria. Your eyewitness reports are contradictory because you reported it, you presented it as an eyewitness report or an eyewitness testimony, but that was the lie. You should have presented it, but you didn't know to do so, as an allegory describing the development and growth and fruition of your soul. Immortality, eternity manifests in this realm as death, burial, and resurrection. That's what immortality look like. But a lot of people in spookland, when it come to this stuff, it's a lot of people out here. Man, I done came with Sister Differ, Thinker. What's the other dude name? Cole, Sebastian. I am Messiah. She Messiah. Yaju Judah. It's a lot of people. This generation that's coming out telling y'all the same thing. But not only did you spookify the term God, let's step down. You done spookified the term Christ. Christ mean anointed or anointed one. What are you anointed with? Knowledge and wisdom and understanding. They came from where? The kingdom. And we know when we in the presence of an anointed one, because when they speak, it resonates. Because they give testimony. I don't got to try to be right and figure out if I give you testimony. I go to the doctrine, I got to give you precept on precept. But man, if I come from the kingdom and let it flow, it's going to hit you. It's different. Man, where was I, man, when we dealing with this, the kingdom testimony in the doctrine of Christianity? In the image that you have before you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the gift, man. I sure appreciate that. Yeah, we doing a non-profit, man. So from this point on, because we established and made up our mind yesterday, a made-up mind is a firm mind. A firmament is heaven. Now, a firm mind set in order is the kingdom. So the lights are put into the firmament on the 4th day, and it's not until the 4th day that the firmament is called good. Because that's when the order, the governor, the rulership was placed in it. A firm mind, a mind made up, is a firm mind. But man, with that mind made up and set in order, boy, that's kingdom. Boy, that's sovereign, man. Can't nobody come tell you nothing, man. Because you know where to go to get your initial search. Then after I go to my initial search, we'll come back out and do the research. Oh yeah, I got videos. I post these videos on YouTube. How peace, man. If you can see me, if you can hear me, man, I got you up in here, bro.
Hey, bro, Corey.
What's good, man?
Man, it's for some reason your voice went down. I can't hardly hear you.
Oh yeah, my internet go in and out sometime, and if I accept a guest, sometime it'll I don't know, like the volume. I don't know what's going on here lately with this stuff.
Yeah. Hey, well, yeah, man, I'm sitting there listening to you, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's always good to listen to you, you know, because the knowledge just you know, correct knowledge goes straight forward, you know. So, uh, uh, I was just a Christian brother just asked me this morning, you know, where he had sent a prayer. He sent the prayer. He sent prayers to me every morning, you know. So I read the prayer, and the prayer was talking about God put us here or something like that, you know. So I had texted him back, and I told him, I said, God didn't put us here, you know. I said, man, you know, Adam, when in the garden, he disobeyed God. You know what I'm saying? God didn't want us here, you know. He disobeyed God. That's the reason why we're here, you know. I said, but God gave us the necessary resources and everything that we need to make this journey and back to one with Him again, you know. So I, I mean, to come up off this plane of things or whatever, you know. So, but anyway, I like, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, be having like wrong concepts, you know, and that's why I like listening to you, you know, and because you definitely be hitting in a lot of areas, whereas people could get understanding, you know. Um, and definitely with that image, image that people, there's a lot of people believe in it. They hang that stuff up on the wall and stuff, and start praying to them, everything, you know.
Yeah,
I
it's
like,
hung
man,
up in their house right now.
huh?
I say, yeah, it's hung up in their house right now.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, man, wow, you know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't try to knock nobody for their faith or whatever, you know. I mean, man, because God use everybody a journey in life, you know what I'm saying, to bring them towards Him, you know. So, without a doubt, when we is a part of the process of Him, if we got to be, you know, like you say, I am, you know what I'm saying, you know. So, you know, I believe that, you know what I'm saying, totally, because see, we the only one on creation and God creation, you know what I'm saying, that disobeys, that's disobedient.
Yeah, yeah,
We the only
we
one,
forgot. We done forgot who we are. And
right?
when we forgot who we were, we got told who we were by people who hated us, wanted to take advantage of us, and benefited from us not knowing who we are.
Right. Right. I'm gonna give you an example, a prime example of this. Jesus said in the Bible, I think it's around Matthew or Mark, that if you believe in Him, that you will be able to do all of these things, even drink this poison, and it won't do nothing to you. So people actually believe, you know what I'm saying, and that in a certain way, you know, and really, if you got the right belief in the matter, if you drink some poison, you're gonna die. You
And
drink
it's
that
not even
poison,
not necessarily the right belief, it's knowledge.
right,
You have to come out of belief and into knowledge.
right, 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 without doubt. So, if you drink that poison, you're gonna die. So I'm saying that's like, you know what I'm saying, you tempting God. You tempting God. I don't care what I believe in. If I can believe in Jesus in a certain way or whatever, but
And let me go ahead and interject back in because I want people that's listening. The word God is like the word right.
right,
Depending on what right I mean, I might be talking about RIGHT, WRITE.
right,
Uh,
right,
uh, is has a relative meaning to who the listener and wherever they are in their understanding. I want to clarify to everybody listening. When I say God,
right,
I'm talking about my ancestors.
right,
I'm talking
right,
about the
right,
Elohim, the mighty one. I'm not talking about nothing spooky. And
right,
that they
right,
passed on, my ancestors are now at rest. And they
right,
light, they knowledge, wisdom, and understanding exists in me through what
right,
we call DNA.
right. Okay,
Activated at the proper time for me to do what I'm doing now.
yeah, because we is the highest thing of the creation, you know. I mean, and we are able to do all things. You know what I'm saying? You know.
And I can give you, and you know what? I'm just finna go. I just sit in the box with me and chill with me.
Okay.
Show you biblical proof. This just came to me. Just show them right quick. Biblical proof when I say God, that I'm talking about my ancestors. I'm going to show you in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take you again to Genesis 1:26. Then God said, let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and over the livestock. Now, it say, God say, let us make man in our likeness and in our image. So, man, the first man, the original, here we go, come from who? God. And we say God is plural. It's we and us. And it's from a kingdom that this was done. So
Uh-huh.
I'm literally talking about, man, I'm in the likeness and image of my ancestors. And I know that my ancestors was called God in this realm. I know it.
Amen. I okay. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about man. But hey, you know, I mean, as far as the creation of things. Say for instance, like I say, the poison. You drink poison, it's like you've been, you know. I mean, it's what it is. It's what
Let's
it
break that
is.
down for the people that's listening. So what the scripture is talking about, because I know, because it's coming from the kingdom. The revelation come from the kingdom. The script in the Hebrew language came from your scholars, baby. And I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to just the crowd.
I
But
know.
the understanding come from the kingdom. So we say you gonna drink poison. So you gonna ingest. You gonna take in some lies. But the elect is
Right,
not gonna be able to confound or confuse the
right,
elect.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Because these are the ones who have the anointing, the light, the soul, Christ. So you can't do nothing to me with your lies, your poison. It
right,
can't make me sick. It can't affect me.
right,
That's what it's talking about. Not telling you
right,
to go drink some bleach and you're gonna
right.
be cool. But yeah.
Well, I'm coming from the perspective. I'm coming from the perspective of how people is believing in things. You know what I'm saying? I'm believing in God. So I'm saying things are established the way they are. Because I believe in something, that don't mean to tell me because I believe that Jesus supposed to be God, that I can go out there where the lion at and
I
be
just
friends with the
really,
lion.
if I can get to the point with them with an understanding of just because you believe in something don't make it true or right. I
Right.
accept that you believe in it with all your heart and all your might, but your belief in it doesn't make it true and it don't make it right.
That's right.
And
That's
that's
right.
what a lot of people think. They think because the harder that they believe in it, the truer it is. No, that's not how true or false
Ooh,
work.
boy, I tell you.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Hey man, that's crazy, man. Hey, but I'm like, man, that's all I really want to add. I'm not trying to take over to your platform or anything like that. But
I'm just in a
I'm in,
flow state, huh? Yeah.
I
So
enjoy
like when
listening,
I'm in a
man.
flow state, and I enjoy you too. A lot of people, I'm gonna explain this. I haven't explained it before. When I'm in a flow state, anything you say, I'm gonna hear, and I'm just gonna go. Like I
Right,
can't describe it, but man, it's you'll get into a state of flow where you just own it. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So
right,
I be interjecting, I be crunk and passionate. So
right.
excuse me if it come across that way, but man, I just be activated. You know what I'm saying? And it
Oh,
just come
oh,
out.
oh no, I got plenty of patience, brother, and I'm all ears. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I didn't get where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? The understanding I got by not listening. You know, so I like, man, this is what a
And I'm
lot
gonna
of us
post
need to
this
do.
video. And I appreciate the elder. That's why I got him on here, true Sarah. You know, the elder, if the elder get up on it, you got to respect the elders. Because regardless of how it's articulated, elders, like you say, elders don't get to be elders by mistake. It's not an accident that you hear and that you like, yeah, y'all gonna put it down. I'm with it. I'm like, that's encouraging coming from an elder among us. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
yeah, I appreciate when you do it.
right. Yes, sir. And so I don't want to take up all the time. You know, I want to let somebody else get up there if you have. You know,
For sure. Peace, huh?
have peace.
Man, it's always good to have the elders come in here and say what's happening. Anybody want to get in and comment? I post these lives on my YouTube. My check, make sure we good. Can y'all see and hear me? Uh, hold on. Make sure y'all can see and hear me. My check. I put my lives on YouTube. My YouTube got my picture on it. I'm gonna put this live on there too. This will probably be the next live I put on the YouTube channel. Just go on there, check it out. You can pause, marinate on it. Uh, and a lot of people tell me that the videos have replay value, meaning you can look at one of the videos I posted and listen to it again and get something else, and listen to it again and get something else. So that's a good thing about posting them on you. Appreciate y'all letting me know you can hear me. But yeah, the reason I wanted to get on here today is the history. I see a lot of people confused about our history. And when we say the beginning, we talking about the beginning of the lie. Because that's the only thing that have a beginning, the lie. The truth is, was, and always will be. Ain't no beginning to eternity. But the lie got a beginning. The lie started, they say, what, 6,000 years ago? Who say they 6,000 years old? His story started in Africa is because that's where they came to learn who they were. By the time my kingdoms got to Africa, you know, we had been everywhere. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding reaching its fullness is an age. We've been here for ages. His story started in Africa. That's where he learned who he was and what he was. Why y'all always tell you they had to go to Egypt. They telling you where they story started, where the lie started. This picture in front of me on this screen, it's a lie. Where did the lie start? When did the lie start? When they started telling you your God was out there somewhere in the sky. went into the sky, gonna come back out the sky. They been lying to you ever since you took that. And that's why you've been enslaved ever since you took it. Mentally. They had to go to war with you to subdue you physically. I'm talking about for hundreds and hundreds of years. And then when they got all the people that could fight and they got rid of them and had unalived those that were old enough to fight and fight back and know what was up, they taught the babies the lies. That's why you believe everything they tell you and everything they show you. If it's on the TV screen, let me remind you that whoever's making a speech, even if it's live, is reading from a teleprompter or script. And the reporters, hey man, they stick to a script too. Tell live vision. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You want to keep running to them for your information instead of taking your ass inside to the kingdom? Go ahead. But quit crying when they lie to you. When you figured out they was lying, every time you ran to them for some information, not only did you find out they was lying to you, you find out the information that they giving you is your information from your ancestors that they misunderstood, misinterpreted, turned upside down. Everything. You running around here talking about paying bills because you're slow. You need to be worried about buying you some land, acquiring you some land and building on it. That's called generational wealth. You don't know you are the money? Your land has value and what you build on it make it increase in value because you can pass it on to your descendants. Don't be self-sufficient on it. You mean to tell me you ain't figured out what really have value yet? Everything they say you is trash. Even the money that you work for that they pay you in depreciate in value. Your ancestors knew better. That's why they had to go to war with us to take it. But the one that was raised, because they got taught by the Lord God in his book, yeah, they didn't know who they was, where they come from after all this preaching and teaching, and you still don't know who you are. All these baptisms and song singing and marching, nigga, you still don't know who you are. You still scared. We ain't. And we moving, man. We moving with those that get it and ain't scared. If you're scared, go to church. That's what I like to tell you. You're scared, go to church. Because that's where the fearful are. But the kings and the priests and the army is in the kingdom. You scared, go to church, man, with your preacher and your pastor. But the kings and the priests and the army is in the kingdom. You keep going to church if you want to. I'm going to go to the kingdom. Yeah, man, you can go to Jesus all you want to. Hey, man, I know the anointed one. I've been anointed. I know what my soul is and the purpose of my soul. It is to divide the day from the darkness, divide the day from the night. And the day is called light, and the light is called knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Don't got nothing to do with rising and setting of no sun, because I'm ageless. Ooh, I'm immortal. Know where I come from. When God said, let there be light, that was my soul, and that was your soul, and that was our soul. Ain't we the only one here got soul? I say light means soul. We talking about ancient, ageless knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Ain't you the only one here on the scene with soul? Well, how you think you got it? Who gave it to you? The mighty ones. God gave it to you. Your ancestors. And their wisdom is demonstrated in how they pass it on to you. Not through alphabets, not through letters, not through books. First is passed on through DNA, and then second is given to you directly from the kingdom. You call them downloads, revelation. A RISE representative completed this task from the UK. I'm just looking at comment. Where is the kingdom? The king's dog. Let's identify where the kingdom is and the throne. The kingdom is in here, your mind. Let's bust it down, your composition. Your composition is soul, mind, spirit. This is the composition of the real you. Soul that is invisible, the invisible light, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's the first light. God said, let there be light. That's that light. You're not talking about the sun that was made on the fourth day. Talking about the light that was made first, the first of the creation. That's you, that's us. The original, the ones with soul. What your ancestors trying to tell you about you. Then the light is housed inside of the mind, which you cannot see, touch, taste, smell, or hear, only experience. So the mind is a vessel for the light, and the light is your anointing, which you are anointed with, which what makes you the anointed one when you come into the awareness. Because ain't but one you. Now this mind is expressed through your spirit, your energy, how you move and what you put down. Now the throne, the mind consists in two parts, conscious and subconscious. The throne is in the subconscious, shrouded in deep darkness. But not darkness, don't get it twisted. Darkness like, the sun in the sky is so bright, you stare at it so long you can go blind. Because the light is so bright, you can't look at it. All the lights is in the nighttime sky. Matter of fact, the sun is housed inside of the constellation in the nighttime sky, because that's where the throne is, and the conscious mind go back and forth between the holy of holies, subconscious, and back to your conscious. It's the purpose of your soul. Separate light from darkness. We was always talking about things that go on in the King's Dome. In here. We were never talking about nothing spooky. Ever. The imposters, they was. The liars. So yeah, that's where the kingdom, the throne is in your subconscious. That's the one that do the anointing. Because that's where the light, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you're not aware of yet, that you're not conscious of yet, that's where it resides. So that's considered the high priest. And your conscious mind is considered the king, because the subconscious mind anoints the conscious mind with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of your ancestors that you weren't aware of. And it manifests on you as revelation. Oh man, I don't understand stuff. I ain't left. Yeah, because your ancestors understood it. Before you forgot who you was and started worshiping this guy right here. Yeah, your ancestors knew it and passed it on to you, and they passed it on in such a way that it wouldn't manifest till the conditions was right, because it's planted in you like a seed. But you don't know that you are immortal, because you don't know what life is. When he said, I come that you may have abundant life, that means overflowing life. You running around here talking about dying. You don't even know what life is. Ain't nobody mentioned death to you, and you read the creation narrative in the unleavened portion of the book. Death ain't mentioned. Neither is dirt. Why? Because I just explained to you what make you up. Soul, mind, spirit. You don't mention dirt in the creation narrative in the unleavened part, because dirt ain't you. Dirt go back where it go. You go back where you come from. But a lot of people have been given the spirit of fear, because to them God is some it's when you say God, you're not saying your ancestors. You scared to connect that. You scared to connect God, Elohim, mighty ones, with your ancestors. Because of this fear, when you say God is just something spooky, then when you get into the sacred and the profane, anything you can name and give a title to, you just profaned it. We don't bow to the profane. We don't worship or venerate the profane. Meaning anything you can put a title or a definition on, man, I'm not venerating that. I venerate what comes from the kingdom, man. And that's it. And what comes from the kingdom as assigned to you, your mother and your father, who you are made in the likeness and image of, who defined you, defined phenomena, and made you act in a desired manner. So they gave you your first example of power manifest. They didn't give you a name to call them. Your mama, your daddy, your grandmama, your granddaddy, your great-grandmama, they didn't give you no name to call them. Only people that ain't their children did they get a name to. So if you wanted the children, we gonna know, because when you pull up, you holler mama and daddy. Everybody else gonna be hollering the name when they pull up. It's a lot of people just don't get it, because they've been taught this book through a doctrine of a religious belief. And they use the book to support the doctrine. But they cannot bust this book down. Hey man, don't listen to me. There is no Hebrew scholar, Christian college professor that can break the book down like the people that receive revelation and give you testimony of the kingdom. They cannot do it. Not only can they not do it, they can't receive it. Because in their pride, they told themselves they was right based on their scholarly and research and translation. They was right based on their research. All right, well, we just looking for the truth. I don't care what you call right. I've seen what you call right, Professor. You used to call this. They cut my live off again. Boy, they say, boy, I must be cooking in this kitchen. Y'all get up in here, man, because I'm cooking, man. They cut this the second, third time. They done cut this live off. Because I was saying, all you ones that follow the translators, because he translated Hebrew and you went to the Christian college. Hey, man, them people can't teach or give you no testimony or no kingdom. They ain't got it. They don't come from script. They don't come from books. And if that's what you going on, it's because your pastor or your preacher did not teach you the difference between the sacred and profane, because he's unable to. It ain't been revealed to him yet. So he preached you this image. I don't go out what y'all call right, Christians, Muslim, whatever. I don't go out what you call right. I've seen what you call right. This image right here on my screen, you used to call that right. You still do. Some of you still do. You used to call slavery right, genocide right. You used to say it was right for you can have many wives as you want to. Now all this stuff you say is wrong now. So what I look like going off what you call right? And knowing that you don't know right or wrong for yourself in your own life, and stuff that you used to call right is horrific, how can I accept your expertise on the subject when it comes to what we call God, Elohim, the mighty ones? How can you tell me among the gods, among the Elohim, which one is right? And this image on my page used to be right to you. How you gonna tell me that? You can't. You can't be elite. All you can do is deceive and be a brute. Take the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and turn it upside down and use it to deceive and take advantage of. You can't teach nothing. And if we just putting it out there, letting the people know that your pastor is probably somebody listening. Your pastor probably one of my most ardent YouTube followers in secret. Preachers and pastors listen to us and get understanding of the book that they didn't get from the Christian college or the seminars. They be in the cut listening to us bust it down now, like I was telling you about Dinah and her being the 7th child of Leah, but the 13th child of Jacob, 12 sons, 1 daughter. Dinah mean understanding, 1 understanding. You got 12 strengths. It manifests many ways, but we all understand this now for everybody. 1 understanding. Your preacher ain't gonna give you that. He can't. He gonna tell you the story of a character named Jacob and his 12 kids. That's what he gonna give you. And that's what you gonna venerate. And you gonna base yourself and say, I trace my lineage to such and such, such and such. Man, we wasn't never talking about literal people. We was always talking about states of consciousness. Israel is a state of consciousness. He who struggles with the mighty one is a state of being, baby. It's not a geographical location or ethnic group. Sorry to tell you. What you mean? Ain't but one ethnic group. Wasn't none but us. What other ethnicity are you looking for? You talking about the original. The ones with the soul. Come on, y'all. I've been given the name of Baba Doctor by the Rastafari. It's an honor, like teacher. Back to Christ. The term Christ, I know it's spooktified in you. You might think this picture, the term Christ referred to the image in this picture. Bless your heart. The term Christ refers to God's anointed, the one that the ancestors anointed. Ain't but one you. What are you anointed with? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what? The kingdom, which is where? Within you. Know yourself. You know yourself. Who you are and what you come from. This is your anointing. And if you have the anointing, this is what we call Christ, the anointed one. And this is the one that you are, is the leaders. Our ancestors, we made those that had the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We made them our leaders, our kings, our priests, set up over the army. We made our Christs, our celebrities. You make the lowest of the low with no morals, no integrity. These are your celebrities. Then you're finding out about their lack of morals and integrity, and they'll do anything for attention and $1. Because you put the lowest of the low on the pedestal. So when the ones that got the understanding that's been given to them from the kingdom show up with the testimony, you reject it. Now, nigga, you can't tell me nothing. Jesus is all I need to accept. Okay. I am salvation, the anointed one. In ignorance, nobody knows what I said. But hey, man, the name Jesus means Yah, I am, sure, salvation. Christ, the anointed one. Why? Because you the light of the world. But you don't know you the light of the world. What's the world being saved from? Darkness. That's why we say of you are the light of the world when you know who and what you are. That's the Christ, the anointed one. And you're going to be sent to your world and your peers and your people. And the prophecy is they are going to reject you. For this guy, for this image right here. They're going to bow and sing song and pray to that. You come talking about ancestors and stuff like that. Nigga, get out of here. You sound crazy. We don't deal with our ancestors. We don't know who our ancestors are. We worship our oppressors' ancestors only. We study and learn about our oppressors' ancestors only. We don't learn about our ancestors. We venerate and glorify our oppressors' ancestors only. We don't venerate our own. Because then that would be like venerating and glorifying yourself. And you know, we ain't shit. And we got to make sure we maintain the status quo of not being shit. Let me listen first. Raquel is in here laughing. You must just pull up because the picture on here, huh? Well, let me make it in a nutshell. His story, this image that you see right here, is actually your story. But because you're dealing with liars and usurpers and deceivers, they stole your story and told you it was his story. Because they did it, my story and your story is what? A mystery. This image right here that they've personified is allegory of your soul. It's told first in the book. They give you the image that I'm giving you. They give you his story first because your story starts with the immaculate conception of your soul. And your soul came from wisdom. Your body came out your mama. And your mother is symbolic of wisdom. That's what, when every time you say mother, the sacred meaning is wisdom. You come from wisdom. Came out your mama. Your story, wisdom is the virgin. She's the one that got pregnant by God. Excuse me. Wisdom is the one that got pregnant by God. So in Revelation, when it's revealed, she show up pregnant. Because what we are showing you is your creation. Envision, symbolically. That you were created soul first, wasn't you? Before you was in your mother's womb, I knew you. You was existed. You was created soul first, right? See, your ancestors, they knew not only who they were, they knew of immortality. They know how it worked. They know how it manifests. They intentionally passed on their DNA. Somewhere along the line, though, it got cut off. The bloodline got cut off. You got disconnected from your bloodline, from your God, from your mighty ones. It's a consciousness. My name ain't shit. She a love your brother. Keep researching. Oh man, yeah, you for me to, I'm not even going to attempt to catch you up to where I am. I would tell you never judge unless you understand the distance traveled to get to the arrival point. If you don't know the distance traveled to get to that arrival point, we gotta say still waters run deep. You can ask a question, but don't assume, because I'm very informal with the presentation of the testimony. But the testimony is when you open the book and it say in the beginning, we already know we talking about the eternal kingdom, and we talking about eternal ain't no beginning to eternity. Ain't no end to it either. So what's beginning? The beginning of what? The lie. The beginning of the lie, baby. That's what we showing you. Know you've been taught different, but in the beginning, see, the lie have a beginning and an end. And we gonna show you the lie from the beginning of the book to the end. That's what I do. Been doing it for the last 13 years. From front to back. You know what I'm saying? But on this app, people can just pull up at any point in this live and hear me saying something. Y'all know how I just be kicking it, and they assume, oh man, this nigga don't know what he talking about. I'm a nigga off the top. Then I got the image up here. So a lot of people, cause we hate ourselves, man, we just assume niggas don't know what they talking about. I deal with that often. I had people that assumed they know I was, man, had to come back and was like, hey, man, just break that down, what you were saying before, after they took the time to sit down and listen. Right now, I'm kind of just, floating on the surface. I ain't giving you nothing in depth in the course of this live we have. But his story is a lie. His story started 6,000 years ago in Africa, because that's where he learned who he was. He learned who he was 6,000 years ago from us. We come from the Elohim, the mighty ones. He come from us. Just gonna give it to you as plain as I know how to give it to you. We come from the mighty one, the Elohim, the kingdom. That's what we are representative of. They come from us, y'all. And they figured out who they was 6,000 years ago in Africa, learning from us. That's where his story started. To all those that just can't get it, by the time he showed up in Africa to learn of himself 6,000 years ago, we had been all over this realm. With kingdoms, pyramids, mounds, city-states. We had been all over already. But his story starts 6,000 years ago, because that's when he first started understanding who and what he was. So when they tell you, everybody telling you, they trying to tell you his story. And they telling you the truth. It's his story, but it's not your story. It's his story. Give it back to him. Running around here, so I want the people that's listening that think I'm tripping, the people that gave you this image also told you you don't have a heavenly mother. And they also told you that this guy in this image is going to come back for you out the sky one day. I'm here telling you that all palm-colored people that worship this guy because they believe that this guy is real are worshiping their ancestors and venerating their ancestors. They doing exactly what they supposed to be doing. What you praying to him for? You got your ancestors. They ancestors learn from your ancestors. Just like the sun is housed in the constellations. If he's housed in the constellation, did it mean he had to come out of the constellation to go back in? Talking about your stars that you look at in the sky, you looking in the past, you looking at your ancestors, you looking at their light. The light from the stars is thousands of years old. The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of your ancestors is ancient. It's in your subconscious, it's in your DNA. We always been trying to show you that we know who we are and what we are, and we move with intention and purpose, not for profit. We know who we are. We know what we are. We move with intention and purpose. You move for recognition, validation, and $1 in the name of Jesus. What can you teach me? About what? I don't want to learn a lie, because all you can teach me is a lie. So when I take you to Psalm 119:99, I know more than all my teachers. Why? Because you teach lies. You can believe in a lie, but you can't know her. It ain't real. To know a lie is the same thing as saying, I know Santa Claus. How you gonna know Santa Claus and Santa Claus ain't real? Same people say they know this guy. Okay. There's many of our problems. We do not believe what our own is saying. Now, you have to have these people validation behind what you're saying, because our people, we love scholars and the translators and the doctors such and such, and his information and his knowledge and his translation. So, you have to get your PhD and your degrees from these people's institutions. So we rejected the testimony of the kingdom for the lying pen of the scribes and the translators and the scholars. And we run around here confused, no understanding, don't know who we are, talking about I got bills to pay. Yeah, I know. Because you don't want to spend your money on buying you some land and passing it on to your children. You rather pass on medical debt and false beliefs instead of an inheritance. Because ain't no wisdom. Religion mean way of life. To remove mother, divine mother, from your religion mean you remove wisdom from your religion. So ain't no wisdom in your way of life. So when you come to the end, you ain't got nothing to leave behind. Because you supposed to been getting you some land and maintaining the land for your descendants. You was busy upholding who company you was clocking in for. You was spending your money on cars and gasoline and oil and computers and yeah, man, you don't own nothing. And when you're old, all that stuff is trash now, obsolete. But the land had you bought that land. When you first got that 10,000 and 15,000, instead of buying them necklaces and them old ugly ass, funky ass clothes with your oppressor's names on them, you formed you a whole gang to push poison and fear in your community. Don't nobody own nothing, ain't thinking about it on. You believing in this guy with your whole heart, passing out money in the collection plate at church. Nobody in the congregation own any parts of the building or the land that it's on. Don't matter of fact, nobody own nothing. No wisdom in your way of life. Your ancestors own the land that they live on because they got it from their ancestors and they passed it on to their descendants till they ran into them. Then we had to fight for it. What's the topic, G? His story, the guy on the picture, versus your story and my story. And in parentheses, mystery. So the topic is this picture that you see and his story that they gave you associated with this image is really your story. It's the story of your soul. They took your story and made it his story, the usurpers and the deceivers. Because they did that, your and my story is now a mystery. So we running around here, Negro, Black, African American. We don't know what we are, where we came from, because we don't understand. You come from what they call God, the Elohim, the mighty ones. Those are your ancestors. Your oppressors call your ancestors the mighty ones. God. That's your story. If you don't believe it about yourself, even though you're the only one here with soul. And when the book say, hey, let there be light, light means soul. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, not light you can see with your eye. We ain't talking about that. We ain't, hey man, come on now. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, light you experience and see with this eye. That was the first thing. That's your soul. That's why you got soul. And you the only one here with soul, because you the original. Everybody else, these people, came from you. But you got it backwards. You letting these people teach you about you. That's why you still confused and you still paying bills and you don't own nothing. That's why. So that's why we doing the work we doing. That's why we met yesterday for about 2 hours plotting and planning our moves, what we gonna do and how we gonna get down with it. And it ain't nothing but 6 of us, 5, 6 of us. That's putting the work in, because a lot of people hear the term prophecy, don't know what it means, in spookland about it. Man, it's happening in your face. It didn't happen in the past because you're not a witness to it. How you gonna say it? Ain't it always now? So let me help you understand how it's always now. A lot of people don't get the story of Cain and Abel. Cain means spear holder or spear bearer. Abel means vapor or breath. In the narrative of Cain and Abel, Abel does not speak one word. Not a one. This is a sign, but people can't read signs, so they miss that. Then, Abel means vapor or breath. What is vapor? What is breath? What we call breath? Spirit. He's a shepherd. Abel represent the spirit of the people. He was the leader. He was the people's choice. Cain is a spear holder. He get his power from force, violence. So when he unalive Abel, they knock out the people's champ. You know, every time we have somebody among us that the people flock to, Get unalive. So where did the people come from to populate this city? Cain built. I just told you. Abel was a shepherd, and the people, the sheep that followed Abel, populated the city that Cain built, which is the first city-state in the book. Why every time you go into the book, you always got to leave the city and go into the wilderness to meet at the mountain. What is the mountain? It's the most high point in the physical realm. When we talking about symbolic, where is the most high? Inside of you. That's the most high point. There's a lot that's going on now. That's not going on in the past. It's happening now. They unalive the people's champ, and then they get the people to populate their cities. And they cities are maintained on human sacrifice. And the concept, hey, yeah, on human sacrifice. If you want to advance, you got to accept human sacrifice, believe it, or perform it. That's how you get advanced in the city. In Cain's what Cain built. And then as an extension, you go from Cain to Babylon, from Babylon to Egypt, from Egypt to Persia, Persia to Greece, Greece to Rome, Rome to the United Kingdom, who gave you the King James Version. There's 7 empires. And they dedicated to God to each one of them. This is happening now. It's always now. But if you ain't been given a revelation and understanding that comes from the King's Dome, you can't bust this stuff down, and you shouldn't. It causes confusion when you pick up this book and want to be vain and show your pride instead of picking up this book and giving the revelation and testimony that come from the kingdom. It causes confusion. It have people worshiping images, waiting on somebody to come out the sky for them, dying broke, owning nothing. That's what it do. That's why it's called a spell. Yes, the Most High good. Yeah, I'm just chopping. I'm finna get up out. Let's try to get 50K. We can do it. Man, I ain't even looked at. It's some likes on here. Bro, you know what? I appreciate it. I'm going to just leave it at that. But a lot of this stuff, bro, I don't even really be paying attention, man. I look at the comments so I can respond to anybody's questions or whatever. But, nah, man. I enjoy what I'm doing. This is like my calling. I answered the call. This is my purpose. So my mama taught me how to read and write before I started school. This a symbol. This a sign. My mama had me when she was 15 years old. It's another sign and another symbol. She taught me how to read and write before I entered into the city, into the system. What do mother represent? Wisdom. Okay. Just so we all on the same page. But with this understanding, we're going to rebuild. We're going to come back to our ways, starting with how we reproduce, how we interact with our families. Even if we don't get along, we don't like each other, we don't know each other. We serve and protect family first. We honor and respect family first. We learn about and be educated about family first. Because when we pass on our DNA, we not just passing on me, I'm passing on everybody that consisted and participated in the making of me. Because they show back up in me. So I pass on, man, I'm not just finna get nobody pregnant. What you got? What? That means you don't know who you are. That's what that means. You running around here like an animal. So we have to restructure how we see ourselves and our families so that we can start back rebuilding and keeping the family line intact meticulously in alignment. Because I'm going to go find me a woman that represent my mother, and my mother represent wisdom, and my daughter's going to find her a husband that remind her represent me. I represent power. Everything going to stay in line. We're going to build knowing this. That's how we experienced the golden age before. Then, 6,000 years ago, one of the ancestors taught an outsider and gave an outsider some of our inside game. And they took it and made themselves gods to people who was ignorant and didn't know no better. They didn't teach them, the people, that they was gods. They came to the people like, I'm God. But they got it from a whole society, a whole kingdom. Everybody was gods. Everybody knew who they were. Everybody had knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of how this realm operates. They came back from learning from us and went back to where they was the only one knew what was happening. So they told them they was God. Here we go. We've been at it ever since. Yeah, it's your soul, the story of your soul. The Immaculate Conception is your soul. Your soul, just like your body was conceived of. Conceived in the womb, where your soul come through the same way. And your soul was immaculately conceived before you had this body. When we talk about the unseen manifests as what we call nature. We experience nature in cycles. So we call nature female, mother. It is through nature that we experience and witness the wisdom of a self-replenishing, eternal, cyclical system. It shows us power manifest. Yes, they stole our story. I'm just dropping. I'm finna get up out here though in a little bit. Bust me a corner. Got some people to meet with a little bit later today. About the non-pray. Hey, y'all, I'm working on the non-proper. We getting it together, putting it down. And as we move forward, I'm going to share with y'all some information about what we doing. I can't wait to show you. But in the meantime, is wearing a wedding ring paganism produced by the Babylonians? When you understand what the term God mean, that we talking about the mighty ones, the ancestors, any custom that you got or you practice that's outside of what you got passed on to you from your family, from your DNA, from your God, is considered pagan, alien, foreign. Being, I don't know if you know your family lineage, your family tree, or if anybody in your family gave a damn about keeping up with it and making sure the bloodline stayed. I don't know. So this custom that we got of the ring is, you remember the ring, no beginning, no end, you making an eternal covenant between the two of you till death do us part? But it's a reason it melanated people in the diaspora, that you were cut off from knowing who your ancestors and your origins. It was and is intentionally done. Until you accept this, you're going to stay confused. I don't care how many scholars you read, because your scholars are lying too. Because they didn't have, somebody that translate a book don't mean they know what's in it or understand it. They understand the alphabet of the language that they translating, and they translate it. They don't mean they understand the intent or the symbols or the signs that the words may contain. I am multi-ethnic. I'm not really into the... I'm real careful on what I say, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, I know who I am and I know what I am. And neither one of it has to do necessarily with this. I understand myself as having an existence that is composed of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that is contained in the mind, that is expressed in spirit or breath, energy. And that this is the immortal part of me. So this is how I identify myself with The mighty ones. It's how you in the likeness and image of the unseen. Because the part of you that make you the real you is unseen. Likeness, how you gonna be in the likeness and image of something that can't be seen? Because you got a soul and a mind and a spirit. Neither one of the three can be seen. But that's the real you. When it come forth, it become evident. So, you know, if you're looking at me in the body, man, you understand what you're seeing. When it come forth in you, if I'm looking at you in the body, but it done came forth, the light in you, I know who and what I'm dealing with. I know it when you open your mouth. But now I know who I am, I know what I am, but I understand the difference, the split is between people who know who they are and those that don't. The split is, but the split ain't between black and white or brown or yellow or red. The split is between those who know who and what they are and those who don't. Period. But with us, let me give you another thing for you. With us melanated in this realm, you have more in your DNA. You got more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in your DNA than they have in all their books and computers combined. You are the original manifestation of the Most High in this realm. And every other ethnic group, color, whatever, came from you. With higher levels of awareness, ain't no more separation. I'm just looking at me on different levels of awareness. I wish I could explain it so fast. It takes like 30 minutes to say what you did and two. This is evidence of the anointing. Because when I say I'm sharing with you revelation, I'm giving praise and veneration and glory and honor to where I received the knowledge. That I didn't come because I thought it up or I got it. It came from the kingdom. It's a revelation. It was revealed to me. It was already here. I just didn't see it. I had to have the light to be able to see it. That's the anointing. Once I was able to see it, then I was able to share it with you. And then people that haven't been able to see, they can say, oh man, the way you put it, I see it. Now, I didn't see it before. Not saying it wasn't already there, but at the angle that the light was hitting it, they couldn't see it. That's why I say you are the light of the world, because you got this soul in you that make you give people some game and understanding in a real concise, fly way that they can get and objectify. It's already in you. But you think you have to pattern yourself off of them. And they scholars, all they do is copy. Whether they understand or not, they just copy. That's what you going out for. People that just wasn't copying. And no one that one more copy. It says this how you draw. And you got your understanding from. I appreciate your teaching. We are his children. The gods and goddesses is in our blood. Thank you very much. I can get off the live now. Thank you very much for listening and taking the time to at least listen long enough for me to get to the point and land this plane. So I've been on here long enough. Finna get ready to move around. Medusa, I'm finna go holler at Monique, you hear me? Finna go, I was trying to talk to her over the phone. Man, I'm finna go talk to her in person, cause we finna crank this up, man, you hear me? Yeah, me and little bro finna sit down, and boy, we finna pitch it, you hear me? We finna pitch it. Yeah, man, I'm not playing with these people, man. Turn up on them. So, hey, man, with that said, y'all have a wonderful day. Peace, light, and love, good vibration. Thank y'all for kicking it with me. Likes, donating, and sharing. Hey, check out the YouTube. It got replay value. Appreciate you, Unc. I'm up out of there.